and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Before we get started, I have to tell you about Do the Dang Thing. This is something I've been dreaming up forever because there's so many women stuck at the starting line. Like they want to start a business, they want to get going, but they're not really sure how. Their dreams go to die in the nitty gritty. That's why we have come up with this amazing 4-week container where we're going to take you from I don't have an idea to your first customer. Live with the support of being with each other and I will be here giving feedback back and forth live. So we just do the dang thing. We get it done already. You can find information on that at susyschool.com/do-the-dang-thing. I want us to get closer to actually doing the dang thing. I did a survey recently and I was like, why, you say you want to start a business, what is keeping you from starting a business? Where are you stuck? The number one reason that over 60% of people said was fear. And I was like, okay, we obviously need to do a podcast on fear. It was a fear that it's not going to work, fear that you're not good enough, fear that you're going to waste your time, fear that it's just basically going to make you look stupid. So much fear. And I think it's completely normal, but I don't think it's good. I think we have trained ourselves to go into this fear place so often because we're comfortable there, honestly. We're used to feeling fear. We know what it feels like. We know that we're safe when we put all of this trust in our fear. Then that keeps us from doing what we really want to do in faith and enthusiasm and excitement. God is not the author of fear. We are. So when we are aligning with our fear-based thoughts, instead of aligning with like the goodness of God and this entire journey that he wants to take us on, he can't really help us. So I think we need to switch our thoughts from this fear place to this faith place. No, you're absolutely not going to know if it's going to work out for you. You have to have faith. You can't live in this place of fear of, but what if it doesn't work out? If that is where you're sending all of your energy, that is where all your thought power and creativity is going, then it absolutely won't. But if you center in this place of, I have faith that this or something better is going to work out for me. Why can't we just know? Why can't we just know? Because that would deprive us of the incredible journey that we go on. Yeah, taking the elevator to the top of the mountain, the gondola, like, oh, that's nice. It's like a nice view on the way up. And then you get there and you're there for 10 minutes, take a couple pictures, and you're like, okay, that was a nice experience. But when you take the climb, when you are stepping step by step and you get to the part of the trail where you're like, I want to give up, I want to go back, I don't want to do this anymore, and you have to dig deep into who you really are, dig deep in your desire to get to that top of the mountain, that's where all the juice is. That's where all the goodness is. It's in the climb. It's in every single step. And what we want, why our nervous systems, this fear tells us, like, if you had the plan, the whole plan, step A to Z of how this is going to go and how this is going to roll out and how good this is going to be for you. If you had this plan, you think that you would feel safe. But we don't really want the plan. We really don't. We say we do, but we want the mystical, magical journey that unfolds. We're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. That's what we really want. And God doesn't want to deprive us of all the things that we're going to learn about ourselves along the way, step by step by step. I was talking to a friend who, she's in a career. She went to school for 8 years for this career. She's like, I went to school. This is what I did. And so I feel really stuck, but I feel like there's something else for me. I just need to know what it is, and I just need the plan. Like if I just knew what it was, then I would get there. I just need to know what it is. God rarely drops in like in 1 second, like, oh, here is the vision for your new business and life in this one moment. He is giving you tiny baby clues every single day to see if you are going to take them, if you are going to notice them, if you are going to act on them. The clues are everywhere. The clues look like, we've been thinking about, Todd was thinking like, oh, we have this house in Flagstaff. We thought we were going to be able to get up there all the time, maybe make it into an Airbnb. And we're such a crazy busy season. It's like, oh, we should probably just sell that place. And so he was kind of thinking about this for a few days. And then in his Instagram feed, pops this realtor that we met in Flagstaff as a suggested follow. Like, why? Why on earth would Instagram randomly serve up the most random thing to Todd? His feed, you guys, is literally 99% golf and ESPN and me. That's all that's on there. Why would that be suggested? Well, A, because maybe Siri is listening, but B, also, God is like, here's a clue. Yes, follow that path. Follow that little shiny thing. Follow it. It could also look like, oh, you're having a conversation with a friend and you talk about this one thing, and then you have a conversation with your mom and the next thing comes up. And then you see on the internet that same thing comes up. And then the girl you post on Instagram is posting about that same thing. Those are clues. This is all there. The clues are everywhere. We are not on our own in what we are building, in what we are doing, in what we are pursuing. It is a trick of our ego to make us think this is all on us. And we have to be the ones in control, and we have to come up with the whole plan. And our brain, which by the way is a freaking psycho, your brain is like, I'm thinking about this, here, there, fear, scarcity, lack, doubt. I'm gonna look like a loser. So this is where most of our brain power is going. God's like, I can't drop in this amazing thing right now. She's not gonna listen. She's not ready. She's not vibrationally aligned to be able to receive this big of a vision. I can tell you there's moments that I've had these massive breakthroughs. This vision that like really felt like it did drop in. Those are the times when I have been so aligned, loving the work I'm doing so much. And when I didn't go looking for it. I wasn't like, I'm going to sit at my desk right now, and what I'm going to do is sit here until the right idea comes. Please come, please come, please come. It comes in the most random times. I'm out boating with my kids. I'm on a walk in the desert. I'm sitting in my car listening to Kesha. I love Kesha so much, weirdly much. Those are the times, like when we're not out there looking for it, but we are in this vibrational place of we are open to receive, we are aligned, we are in this high vibration state. That's when we can get something so big. But that's not usually our MO. Right? Usually we're somewhere in like the overwhelmed, frustrated, stagnant, annoyed place, maybe a little hopeful. So training ourselves to get into this place where we can receive, training our vibration up day by day, hour by hour, thought by thought, second by second, is going to be what it can enable a bigger drop in. But along that way, there are clues everywhere. That you should do this. Something lit you up. Like the random thing that pops in your feed that you're like, oh my gosh, wait, that looks kind of fun. I think I might be interested in doing that. Cool. Follow that clue and it's like a path that's one step lights up, and then you step on that path, and then the next step lights up, and 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 then, oh my gosh, you stepped on that one, and the next 10 steps lights up. But the most important part is taking a step. It's just taking that first baby step of following. The desire is first. The desire of like, I want something, and I'm unattaching from the outcome of I have to get it to look this certain exact way. Like, God, I want a 6-figure business. Give me the 6-figure business. Give me the 6-figure business idea. That's rarely how it works. It's like, I want a life of freedom where I'm home with my kids and I'm trusting and I'm open and I'm having faith that this is going to unfold perfect for me. I cannot wait to watch these clues that gets me more along. Watch for these clues that gets me closer to this path. And then just you start to watch this little magic that's dropped in piece by piece by piece. And then the further you go down this path of you realize the steps are going to line up when you just start moving your feet, then you're more motivated to move your feet. You just got to get your first reps in, build that trust muscle, build that faith. This thing I'm sitting in front of right now is ridiculous, absolute insanity. And I was like, okay, I felt this ping. This was a big deal. This is a 25-foot LED wall by 17-foot. It's in my home, and it is this ridiculous studio. And I was like, I just felt this calling is the only way I can explain it. I felt this like, I have to have that. We went to Monterey, California, and in California, we went to demo it. Went on a motorhome trip, and we got to this place, and it was so giantly extra overwhelming. It was insane. It was like the Tony Robbins screen. It was a studio of 360 degrees of these LED walls. It was like you were in this next world. And my first inclination was like excitement, wow, yes. Like this guttural, just like, yes, this is it. And then I took not 20 steps in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I even doing here? This is so embarrassing for me. Why am I even stepping foot near the stage that Tony Robbins uses? I'm Suzy Holman from Idaho. I have 90,000 followers on Instagram. What? And it tried to take me out. But there was, thank goodness, something higher in me that kept pulling me out, this faith and this trust. And as we've gone down this path, I have sat so many times being like, God, please, can you just drop in this full vision? Why did I buy this thing? Why do I have this ridiculous monstrosity in my living room? Like, I trusted that you were going to give me this whole path. If I bought something so big, if I signaled to the universe, like, I'm ready for something massive, make me Tony Robbins overnight, that you were going to do that. And so why this podcast is called Your Business Will Heal You is because these steps from getting the excitement about buying the screen and studio to where I am right now has been the most expansive year of my life. Also 100% the hardest. But this expansiveness of having to lean into my trust and faith and lean out of my fear. Choice by thought, by thought, by thought, 1,000 times a day, it came up for me. Like, what have you done? What, Suzy, have you done? Why did you put us in this situation? You weren't ready for this. And every single time training myself to like this, I don't know the whole plan. It hasn't all dropped in, but I know that it's coming. And I just started moving my feet. The first thing that we launched was Moxie. I was like, okay, this screen just can't be for me. I can't just have this big thing for me. This has to be for other people to share their messages, and myself included. And maybe it's the next TEDx stage for women. And this is all just kind of like my own thought minutia. I don't think any of this was the exact plan, right? They were little glimmers and pieces of the plan, not the entire thing. So we launched Moxie, and I fell madly in love with helping other. Like when I see women on the stage, like owning their magic, sharing their message, you might as well have given me crack cocaine. I love it so much. Just watching them light up, watching their unique brilliance just like spew out of them is the most magical thing. So we launched that. I'm like, ooh, something's not feeling quite right. My TED Talk idea, or like, we'll share information from the stage. I did one recorded Moxie message where I had recorded a fabulous 20-minute speech. I hated it so bad, I wanted to die. It was horrible. It's like, that was so not fun. And I never want to do that again. So I will not do that again. Sometimes when the path lights up, we have to take a step so that we can learn and know for ourselves that is not the path for you. I paid a stupid amount of money to be in a mastermind to teach me how to be a speaker. Did I need to do that? No. I actually needed to step on the stage one time to realize that was not the path for me. I don't even like to leave my house. That's why the studio is in my house. I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to go speak on crazy stages doing a memorized speech. A part of me will die inside. Just taking that step, I was able to know, like, not for me, not for me. And it's often those times when people take that step and they're like, it's not for me. Their ego is like, see, told you, you're just a big fat failure. I didn't think you could do it in the first place. Failure, failure, failure. Instead of, thank you so much for showing me that that wasn't the path for me and pointing me more clearly to the path that is for me. I trust that that is going to be made clear as I keep moving forward and stepping my feet. So the next thing that we did was these awesome classes, just like Do the Dang Thing that we are doing live. There's something so magnetic when there's people on the other end of this and there's hundreds of your faces. It feels so magical. It's like, that is the clue. That is what I want to do. That is it. But there was something in that Moxie, something in seeing women light up with their brilliance coming out of them that I wanted more of, I needed more of, and I knew there was some piece, there was some clue. So fast forward a few months and an idea dropped in and I was like, okay, I will help people do their online courses. They will come, I will teach them how to share their unique brilliance with the world, this incredible things that they know, and they will step on this stage and they will see themselves and they will also share their magic with the world. And it went bananas. It took me like 2 days to birth this whole thing out into the world, because when it feels so good, feels so aligned, and it just flows. And you're like, even in the flowing, that is a clue. What I could have done is I could have had the Moxie that I was like, oh, it didn't feel right, failure, wrong, bad, I'm an idiot, why did I do that? Instead, I'm like, this is a clue, there's something here, it's not perfectly right, but we're gonna tweak until this feels right. And then boom, my alignment was high. I had just come home from an incredible plant medicine retreat, And I was in the highest of vibe state, and boom, of course, big vision dropped in. Because I was aligned not in fear and doubt and scarcity and worry, where we spend a stupid amount of our life. I was like feeling on top of the world. Alignment. Boom. The idea comes in. And seeing people, seeing women step on this stage, step and look at themselves and realize how magical they are, that is it for me. Whoa, that was it for me. Did I see that coming when I bought this giant monstrosity of a studio? No. I was like, I see what is available to me to see. I see Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and blah 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 blah. I see them doing this, and I'm going to be exactly like them. This will be my own version of them, and realizing that is their path. They were meant to come into my life to light something up for me, but unattaching from that is what it looks like for me, and attaching to I have my own path. I am climbing my own mountain that is going to lead to a place that's very specifically for me. It has been such a beautiful but hard journey, because we want to know, right? We want the outcome to be exactly what we want the outcome to be. We want the twists and turns, but we also totally don't. We want step by step, consistent, that's everything works. Every course you take, it unlocks the perfect thing that you needed. Every person you talk to drops in a clue or a customer. We want that. Like, that's a heck of a lot easier. But when it happens like that, and you are not being served up any of these areas for healing and growth, it does not serve you in the long term. I saw this reel from Ed Sheeran, and I was like, it was so good. He said, these days, he's like, no one's talking about their failures, but you learn nothing in your successes. It's all from your failures. And I think that is completely true. You learn all the things. When things do not go as planned, those are the real lessons. That's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to align. But that's the hardest part. When things go wrong, that's the hardest part, to not fall back into the fear and the shame and the lack and the worry and the doubt. So these pivotal moments, anytime I see a friend, a client going through a hard season, I want to support them, but celebrate them, because there is something massive coming on the other side. There is a breakthrough coming on the other side of this that they will thank someday, 100%. When we bought this studio, drained like all of our bank accounts. We're like, we're going all in. I have a bit of an issue of going like way too far into this. I was like, okay, could we have scaled that back to not Tony Robbins? Maybe? Yeah, we probably could have done that. But anyways, so we went all in. We're like, big risk. Put all the chips on red. Let's go. And then the money leaves our bank account, and I was like, I hate myself. Why did I bet so hard on myself? Why? I don't even have this plan. The amount of lack and scarcity and fear and financial just like burden was crushing. I did not see that coming. I'm like, oh, I love to teach abundance mindset and how to align with all the amazing things that the universe can just give you. You just have to align in your abundance. And then I had this very real lesson of one of the first lessons of my life, actually, of like, but this fear, this scarcity, this lack is here blaring. So the facts. Fear means false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real, the fear of like, oh my gosh, what if we did that and we lose it all? We lose everything. And then your mind's like writing this crazy play of like, you lose your house and then, your cars, and then no one loves you, and you're letting yourself spiral. I was letting myself spiral in this fear, lack place. The only thing that could bring me out of that was aligning with the complete opposite of that. The complete opposite of that, which was God, which was like, I can't pull myself out of this. I'm trying down here, and I am swirling in this crazy, scary foreclosure play. God, please take me out. And I was able to make my way back to this faithful, abundant place of hope and trust, and be able to stay there. And that expansion for me of going from fear, foreclosure, to it's all going to be good, sis. This magical, mystical journey you're on, clue by clue, is epic. Trust that you're being held. Trust that you're not walking this path for nothing. Trust that this path is going to become more clear. Trust that I'm working in the most magical, insane, cool ways. Just stand back and watch. Just stand back and watch me work. We bought the monstrosity studio. And then we're like, cool, Todd's a dentist. I literally can't even figure out how to make a spreadsheet on my computer. There is like 9 computers back there to run all this thing. And we're like, okay, we're going to need a team because clearly we're in so far over our heads that it's stupid. So far over our heads. And I meet this guy at church. Randomly meet this guy at church. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a photographer. I'm like, oh, cool. I need some photography in my businesses and videos. So we like linked up on video and then we're starting to talk and he's like, I do events. Like, I just see that you bought this thing. Like, I know all of that equipment. You know all of that equipment? Are you kidding me, random dude I met at church? Who is now literally right-hand guy running the entire studio. His wife, like, is amazing. Their kids are amazing. We have this great relationship. Like, whoa, God moment, dropping it out of the sky. Perfect alignment, exactly what you needed. The path becomes clear. If I had been stuck too much in this place of like, okay, I'm going to have to put it on Upwork and this person's not coming and I don't know where I'm going to find this person. Do I hire a college graduate? If I would have let myself keep staying in this fear and lack and worry space of like, we're not going to find the right person, I really don't believe that person could have dropped in. It's not a vibrational match of this incredible thing that you trust in and your fear. You got to help them match up further so that you can get everything that you want. And it is, I could tell you a million stories like that exact same thing. That just random, boom, random, boom. And the more you see them, notice them, give gratitude for them, the more of them you get, the more you trust. I can't buy this crazy Tony Robbins screen because I trust that this path is going to be clear. I trust that I'm not going to be allowed to go down a path that is detrimental to my family. I would not have been allowed. Like something would have come in the way, stopped us, and not let us push through. No way. I would have been able to feel this insane resistance and not do it. But that wasn't the case. So you just have to trust. But often what we do is when we are faced with trusting the future, what we do is we go back to this old story of the past and we let that rewrite our future. The past projected onto the future and leaves us just here in this moment feeling like garbage, feeling like, yeah, this isn't going to work. It hasn't worked in the past. Nothing shakes out for me. I'm just not that girl. That's meant for everyone else. I'm not cool enough, talented enough, smart enough, consistent enough. Whatever your story is that you are projecting on to the future, that is all just fear. None of that is real. False evidence appearing real. So what if you projected a different thought into your future reality of the path's going to light up. This is so fun watching the clues drop in. Oh my gosh, piece by piece, they're coming in. So as we go into this incredible container of do the dang thing, I want you to just, if you decide to join us, it's like super cheap, $367. I don't want you to have to go all the crazy in to buy the Tony Robbins screen to decide if this is the path for you. I just want you to take the first steps, get your website up and going, get your offer into the world, start marketing to your first 5 friends, and then you decide like, is that really a true path for me? I don't want you to blow all your powder and then figure out that wasn't the path. So this is a really easy entry-level, beautiful way to get you down the path. And I hope if you feel called to it, you'll come. And I hope that if you are on the part of your journey where you are waiting for the next path to light up, in fear, the next stepping stone, the next breadcrumb to reveal, I hope that you will, instead of identify with the fear that it's not coming, the fear that no one's coming, the fear that you're alone, the fear that you're stupid, the fear that whatever, shift from that fear into this place of faith. Of it's coming. It's going to be epic. It's lighting up. I feel the momentum coming. I feel it. I'm on the lookout for the clues every single day and watch what happens. I cannot wait to see what happens. If this has been helpful for you, I hope that you will take a second and to leave a review and to subscribe. That literally means the entire world to me as we are getting this podcast up and going off the ground. It is so surreal that there are other people on the other end listening, and I would just love to hear if this podcast has helped you. Love you so much.